I'm one of those Republicans who hope the former President Trump, doesn't run. In all fairness, we don't need him anymore. He changed our party. We have a lot of folks, a new generation of folks: Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley. Go down the list of folks who could give us the same policies, the same energy, the same defense of the middle class that Donald Trump gave us without the baggage. I mean, face it, as a Republican, I'm sitting here tonight thinking to myself, well, if the election were today and Joe Biden was the nominee for the Democrats, or Kamala Harris, or Gavin Newsom, there's probably only one mainstream Republican who could lose, and that's Donald Trump. But knowing what I know now, I'd be really hard pressed to support Donald Trump again.
Well, obviously, your thought of the Republican Party no longer needing Donald Trump might not be the view of millions of people who did vote for him as part of his base. So if he ultimately decides that I intend to run and none of the other people do, you'll have quite a choice on your hands whether to
Keep
vote
in
for
mind,
him.
I think we've moved beyond that. I think we moved beyond Donald Trump clearing the field. I think that is one thing that the January 6th committee has accomplished. Don't know if that's what they want to accomplish. I sort of thought they wanted to try and bring criminal charges or encourage the Department of Justice to bring criminal charges. I don't see that yet. But to the extent they wanted to wound him politically, I think that's happened. There's been some polling data out recently that's for the first time say that a majority of Republican primary voters would prefer somebody other than Donald Trump. That's a big change over the course of the last 6 or 8 weeks. 8 weeks ago, I doubt very seriously that any top tier Republicans, again, Pence, Pompeo, Tim Scott, DeSantis, were considering running for president. I think now many of them are. I think Nikki Haley even today hinted that she might run in a speech that she gave in Israel. So I think that is something that has changed over the course of the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and it's changed because of the committee. So again, I think they were out to sort of get him and try and throw him in jail. I don't think that was ever going to happen. I certainly don't think it's going to happen based upon the evidence that we've seen now. But if they wanted to damage him to the point where he might not win or might not run, I think that may be an outcome of these hearings.